The Los Angeles Dodgers suffered a narrow 2-1 defeat against the Miami Marlins on April 28 in Los Angeles, bringing their three-game winning streak to an end. Despite the loss, Shohei Ohtani delivered another strong pitching performance, continuing his impressive start to the season. Ohtani battled through some uncomfortable moments, but still managed to complete 6 innings while allowing 2 runs, with only one of them counted as earned. That outing marked his 5th straight quality start of the year, showing once again how consistent he has been since opening day. However, even with Ohtani keeping the Dodgers in the game, the team's offense could not provide enough support. As a result, Ohtani was handed his first loss of the season. The game began with early tension, as Ohtani immediately faced trouble in the first inning. With 2 outs and a runner in scoring position, the Marlins looked ready to strike first. But Ohtani stayed calm, made his pitches, and escaped the inning without giving up a run. It was a promising start, and for a moment it looked like he might settle into another dominant outing. Soon after, Ohtani recorded back-to-back strikeouts, showing his sharpness and control. But right after that, cameras caught him briefly touching or turning his neck, creating a moment of concern among fans. Even though it did not stop him from continuing, the small gesture raised questions about discomfort. This game was also notable because Ohtani was pitching on shorter rest than usual. It was his first start this season with only 4 days of rest in between. That slightly different schedule may have played a role in the early struggles he faced. In the second inning, things started to go wrong. The inning began with Ohtani hitting the leadoff batter, Ramirez, with a pitch. The batter went down, and the scene looked serious for a second. Ohtani's reaction showed immediate concern. He watched closely, clearly hoping the hitter was not seriously hurt. As Ramirez eventually got up and walked toward first base, Ohtani raised his right hand, offering a visible apology. It was a moment of sportsmanship that many viewers noticed. But right after that incident, Miami began to create pressure. Before Ohtani could fully reset, Ramirez attempted to steal second base. Ohtani stepped off the mound and tried to make a play. He attempted to catch the runner off guard. But the throw to second base went off target. It turned into a costly mistake. That error allowed the runner to advance, creating an even bigger threat. Suddenly, Miami had a runner on third base with nobody out. For Ohtani, it was a frustrating situation. He had already dealt with the hit by pitch, and now the defensive misplay made things worse. The Marlins took advantage of the opening. After recording 1 out, Miami hit a sacrifice fly. That brought home the first run of the game. It was not a big hit, but it was enough to put the Marlins ahead. And in a low-scoring game, that early run ended up becoming extremely important. Ohtani managed to keep the damage limited. He did not collapse or lose focus. Instead, he kept attacking hitters and worked his way through the inning. His ability to recover from pressure has been one of the biggest strengths of his season so far. The Dodgers' offense, meanwhile, struggled to respond. For several innings, they were unable to build momentum. Hits were rare, and opportunities were even rarer. The Marlins pitching staff kept the Dodgers quiet. The middle innings turned into a tense battle. Ohtani continued striking out batters, showing that his stuff was still elite. Even though he was not at his smoothest, he remained effective. The Marlins were aggressive on the bases. They used speed and movement to create discomfort. That style of play made the Dodgers' defense work harder than usual. In the 5th inning, Ohtani faced another challenge. His control suddenly became less stable. The inning started with a walk, something that immediately raised alarm. Soon after, Miami pushed another runner into scoring position. With 2 outs and a runner on second base, Ohtani threw a pitch that was hit into the outfield for a timely RBI single. That allowed Miami to score their second run. Ohtani showed frustration at the plate area while covering home. His body language made it clear he was not satisfied. He knew he had made a mistake, and he knew the game was slipping away. Even after giving up the run, the inning was not over. Another walk followed. That brought the pressure even higher. The Marlins loaded the bases, and suddenly the Dodgers were in serious danger of falling behind by more than 2 runs. But Ohtani responded in the best way possible. He regrouped, attacked the next hitter, and escaped the inning without allowing further damage. It was a huge moment that kept Los Angeles within reach. If Miami had scored more there, the game might have been completely out of reach. Instead, Ohtani held the line. That ability to prevent big innings is what separates great pitchers from average ones. When his day ended after 6 innings, the final numbers were strong. He allowed 5 hits. He gave up 2 runs. Only one was earned due to the earlier error. He struck out 9 batters, one of his highest totals this season. Even though he struggled at times, he still produced a performance that would win most games. His ERA dropped again, reaching an unbelievable 0.60. That number placed him at the top of Major League Baseball among qualified pitchers. It was another reminder that Ohtani is not just a superstar hitter. He is also one of the best pitchers in the league. Unfortunately for him, the Dodgers' bats stayed quiet. For most of the game, the team could not solve Miami's pitching. Up until the later innings, the only player consistently producing hits was Will Smith. Smith collected 2 hits early, but even his success did not lead to runs. The Dodgers failed to create a real scoring threat. In contrast, Miami played with energy. They stole bases. They forced errors. They kept putting pressure on every defensive play. Los Angeles looked slower and less aggressive in comparison. As the game moved into the 8th inning, the Dodgers finally found a small opening. Will Smith came through again, hitting a clutch RBI single to bring in a run. That cut the lead to 2-1. The crowd came alive. For the first time all day, the Dodgers looked like they might complete a comeback. But that late spark was not enough. The Dodgers were unable to add any more runs. They couldn't deliver the big hit they needed. And the Marlins bullpen managed to close the door. The final inning ended with Miami still holding their 1-run advantage. The Dodgers suffered a frustrating loss at home. Their winning streak stopped at 3 games. And Ohtani, despite another quality performance, had to accept his first defeat of the season. Even though he took the loss, the outing was not a disappointment. If anything, it showed that even on a day when his control wasn't perfect, he can still dominate. The bigger concern for Los Angeles was the lack of offense. Scoring just 1 run is rarely enough in Major League Baseball. And wasting a strong pitching start can be painful, especially against a team like Miami. The Dodgers still remain in a strong position overall. Their record is solid. They still have a comfortable number of wins. But this game was a reminder that even top teams can struggle if the lineup goes cold. After the loss, the Dodgers' advantage in the standings remained good. Their savings of wins over losses returned to 10. Now attention shifts to the next game. The series continues with a day game scheduled for the 3rd matchup. The Dodgers will be looking to bounce back quickly. They will want to win the series and avoid letting one close loss affect their rhythm. For Ohtani, the positive news is that his form is still outstanding. 5 straight quality starts is not easy to achieve. And doing it while adjusting to a new team and a new season makes it even more impressive. His strikeout numbers remain strong. His ERA remains at the top. And his ability to compete under pressure continues to grow. But baseball is a team sport. And no matter how great a pitcher performs, he still needs runs. This game was a clear example of that reality. Ohtani did enough to keep the Dodgers alive. But the offense simply did not do enough to reward him. As the season continues, the Dodgers will hope their lineup becomes more consistent. Because with pitching performances like this, they should be winning most games. Still, 1 loss does not define a season. The Dodgers have shown plenty of strength already. They will have another chance immediately. And fans will be watching closely to see how the team responds. The next game becomes important. Not just for the series, but also for momentum. The Dodgers know they are one of the strongest teams in baseball. But games like this remind them that every win must be earned. For now, Miami walks away with a hard-fought victory. The Dodgers walk away with frustration. And Ohtani walks away with another impressive stat line, even though it came with a loss. The season is long. The story is still being written. And if this start is any indication, Shohei Ohtani is going to be one of the biggest headlines in Major League Baseball all year long.